Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Environment Matters. I'm Mike Huff. The DEP's Voluntary Remediation program helps communities and developers take abandoned former industrial and commercial properties, brownfields, and return them to productive use. That's the plan in one West Virginia community where they're about to begin a major redevelopment project. The former American Car and Foundry plant along 3rd Avenue in Huntington built railroad cars for more than a century. After sitting idle for decades, the property was purchased from ACF Industries by the Huntington Municipal Development Authority in 2019. Along with several adjacent properties, it's part of the planned Huntington Brownfields Innovation Zone.
As I see it, this is our opportunity in Huntington. This truly is the golden opportunity, the golden button for us to push. Huntington, interestingly, when you look from Pittsburgh to Louisville and beyond, we're the 4th largest market population-wise in the Ohio River Valley. You have Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Louisville, and then there's the Huntington market. I truly believe, have been believing this for some time, that we take control of the ACF property and we redevelop that right next to Marshall University, right down the street from St. Mary's Hospital, right along the river, got railroad coming through it, you have state highways coming to it, is that this is our opportunity to be able to show that we are the next Lexington, Kentucky.
Demolition work is set to begin in the coming weeks, with the site expected to be mostly cleared by spring. As with any industrial site, especially one in use for so long, there's a potential for lingering environmental contamination, and that's where the DEP's Voluntary Remediation program comes in.
The VRP was created for just this type of site, industrial sites that are no longer in use and that are contaminated or perceived to be contaminated. And so lending institutions won't lend any money to look at the property, to do investigations and so forth, to clear the property. So the VRP provides a program whereby a facility can come into our program and essentially receive liability from third-party individuals and receive liability from future DEP enforcement actions also.
That process began with what's called a Phase 1 assessment, basically a record search to see what kinds of processes took place on the property and their potential for contamination. That's followed by sampling and testing, which provided some surprisingly good results.
Yes, quite unusual. For an industrial site such as this, it's been in operation for over 125 years. We would expect a whole lot more contamination and much more severe contamination. We were actually quite pleased, and I'm sure the city was too, that the levels of contamination were actually not that high at all, and will probably easily be taken care of through institutional and engineering controls.
Once that's all been completed, an environmental risk assessment is performed, which identifies any potential exposure pathways for the contaminants and how those might affect people or ecological conditions at the site. When that's been satisfied, the DEP issues a certificate of completion and the site is ready for redevelopment. Plans call for mixed commercial and high-tech manufacturing, tourism-related businesses, and recreational use, along with some green space.
You'll probably have hotels that will be looking to be in the area. You'll have retail and restaurants in the area. So what I see is a multifaceted development. And it's not just the ACF property. Right next to it is Flint Pigments. And there's neighboring properties around. All of the neighboring properties, I think there are about 5 different parcels, come to about 100 acres. The opportunity that we have right now is to make Huntington better than it has ever been, creating opportunity for every family within our community. But by doing that, we're creating opportunities throughout the region. And what I'm hoping and praying for is that others can be able to see the template that is made in Huntington to be able to be utilized in other communities as well. And I am absolutely convinced where we say that we are the gateway to the Appalachian region is that Huntington is the new city in the next 5 to 7 years. ACF is that critical to us.
If you'd like to find out more about how the DEP helps out communities with brownfield properties, visit the Office of Environmental Remediation page on our website, dep.wv.gov. You'll find it listed under the Division of Land Restoration section. In Huntington, I'm Mike Huff for Environment Matters. Thanks for watching.